You've probably done it before. You see before yourself an illusion of which countless so willingly engage. An artificial three-dimensional world, accessible partly through the use of applied four-dimensional mathematics, is projected back to you via liquid crystals arranged to produce a rapid procession of two-dimensional images. Your eyes see this, and you believe. You know well that you can cast yourself out into this illusion of three-dimensional space. There is an engaging distraction, however, something to pull you away from this illusion. Over and through billions of dollars of internet infrastructure, your friend's voice is broken down, transmitted, and ultimately reconstructed digitally in under a second across untold hundreds, if not thousands of miles. You hear this voice. You think of a response. As you do, your conscious engagement with the game begins to dwindle. There is downtime in this game. You are under no threat. Your focus is tuned firmly into the conversation, perhaps a reminiscent of things long past, concepts only dimly grasped upon, or reflections of yours or theirs personal lives. And yet you click, swipe, or tap away, inputting upon the game you play, while all the same you focus on the conversation at hand. You regard your comment, make it, and find a measured response in return. The conversation is engaging, as few conversations are. And yet you game on, but in a manner most curious. As your interlocutor appends yet another statement to the pile, you catch at last the pattern on display through the liquid crystal's charge. Over and over again you have circled the same set of jumps, walked the same path again. You have been pacing in a video game. I find this behavior quite fascinating, yet I've seen next to no real contemplation on the topic. The natural parallel to contemplate in relation to this would be real-life pacing, seeing as it's a digital facsimile of said behavior. A cursory glance at the research on that topic suggests a number of benefits arise from pacing in the real world. Creative thinking and problem-solving are proven both through trials as well as anecdotally to benefit greatly. There are a number of theories as to why, but the one I find makes the most sense to me is that the human brain craves patterns. The pacing around a room becomes a sort of physiological white noise, a low hum in the tap-tap-tapping of footsteps in a line well-traveled. This repetition allows for the brain to become more focused on particular thoughts and ideas, mull them over without having to worry about where to go or what to do physically. This is of course all to do with the physical act of pacing with your legs, but what about digital pacing? As easy as it might be to disregard, I think it's a profoundly fascinating physical act just the same. Sure, tapping at the keyboard and circling around your desk with a mouse isn't quite the same as walking around in a circle per se, but it offers up what I would argue is a similar degree of physiological white noise, if only more so oriented in the hands rather than the legs. What's more, I think this process might also serve the deeper purpose of encoding gameplay particulars into a deeper level of the mind, or perhaps rather implies the reverse, that the movement in the game is functionally so encoded into your brain that us gamers are capable of just sort of subconsciously outputting inputs. I don't know. I'm not a neuroscientist or experimental psychologist and wouldn't exactly know how to test this beyond maybe replicating aspects of the Marilo Opezzo and Daniel L. Schwartz Stanford University study on the topic, but that's neither here nor there. I wanted to hand the question off to you. What do you think gamer pacing's about? It's an interesting set of behaviors that I've seen, I myself have replicated a bunch, and I've certainly heard anecdotally from others that it's a fairly common act. During my research, I saw some allegations that it might have to do with some degree of mania or anxiety, but I don't quite buy that it's a symptom of something negative. I think I really think more so, or at least more often to me when I do this sort of thing, I'm trying to focus on the conversation, and it's a way to sort of, like I said in the rest of earlier in the video, it's like a kind of a white noise sort of deal to permit focus on the whatever concept I'm mulling over or topic I'm discussing with friends. That's largely what I see this behavior in myself as represented as. But again, questions all yours. The rest of this video is to digitally panhandle, so get out of here if you don't want to hear all that. I've lowered my Patreon prices. They're down for $10. I'll add a small Easter egg image into my games. For $25, you get the whole Easter egg room. For $55, you get to make an alternate ending, and for $111, I will literally spend a week designing a game to the best of my abilities based on your description and preferences. Thanks for watching. Thanks for contemplating. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for maybe helping me survive the winter. Malik out. Yeah. That was good.